The extremely doubtful accusation of Julian Assange with regard to sexual charges that has been brought against him have all the typical trademarks of a CIA conspiracy against a person or a group of persons. The USA and NATO leadership are at the moment pissing in the pants with regard to the WikiLeaks revelations, because there are no doubt that within the 250,000 documents, there are massive revelations of how the US leadership and other Western governments have lied to the nations and to the world, and otherwise abused their control and power over society and people. The WikiLeaks revelations are in fact a revolution in front of our eyes, and Julian Assange is the top-notch revolutionary, almost to be compared with other revolutionary leaders of history. But this is in fact even greater because for the first time since 1945 people of especially the Western world are truly able to see the gigantic and hegemonic power of the USA, even though the economic crisis is undermining the might of the USA, and especially the influence the USA leadership has on governments all over the world, especially within the NATO member state countries. Now a trumped-up rape accusation has brought Julian Assange in prison for something, according to the evidence that has been presented by the Swedish CPS, he hasn't done. He has truly been framed by the two feminist women, who probably have been hired by the Swedish security service, the so-called SAPO Police Intelligence Service, and that makes it also very sad that the Swedish government and authorities are prepared to jump on the command of the USA, and furthermore in this context are prepared to ignore all human rights, freedom of speech and matters alike, that makes the Swedish PM to a lapdog of the USA and a traitor to his country and democracy. The events with the British police arresting Julian Assange shows that this is now a fight between Western governments, police forces, the USA and the people itself. Individuals, families, organizations, the left wing and many others must join forces across borders to fight the clearly fascist state methods that are now being implemented. A new era has begun, no less. Though one shouldn't forget that the US government and especially the Pentagon will try to have Julian Assange extradited to the USA from either a Swedish or British prison, you could also say in this context that his life is in danger. He simply might be killed by proxy of the USA. A hired killer might get him in prison, acting on behalf of the US government. Therefore WikiLeaks and Julian Assange need all the support you can give them. Continue and back up the fight against the hegemonic influence of the USA. Boycott and sabotage the US multinational companies and the US government institutions and all their allies.